Green Bay. I have posted more than a few videos on the team about the game. One criticizing Jared Goff not throwing the ball enough. There were multiple times during the game where us in the stands are seeing the entire field, and maybe we don't see exactly what Jared does, but we're just yelling, "Throw the ball, throw the ball, throw the ball. Let your receiver make a play." You've got some pretty good receivers on this team. You got one that can outrun. Well, you actually have two people who can catch the ball that can outrun other people. And you got Tesla, who is pretty good at making catches he shouldn't be making. So sometimes, JG, maybe you just want to throw it up. Cause I got the heart of a Lions fan. All good, no quit. That's who I am. That said, right, like me being critical of Jared Goff in those instances, that's not me hating on Goff. For the frick, do you guys understand the reality of quarterbacks in the NFL? There are not very many good ones, and we have a good one. We just are unable to. Our offensive line is not good. That's the bottom line, right? And it's not because Brad Holmes didn't try. Drafted Manu, drafted Mahogany, drafted Frazier. They're hurt. Maybe you can say, well, he drafts hurt guys, but I mean, it's the NFL, dude. You never know who's going to get hurt, who's going to step on a foot, who's going to get rolled up on. I mean, I've said this before, I'll say it again. We're old and young at offensive line, so you can't put all of the blame on Jared Goff, nor is being critical of one play or even a couple plays mean that Jared Goff's a bad quarterback. Y'all overreact. You think I overreact? Holy smokes, you Facebook commenters or something else. So being critical of the team, whether it's Dan Campbell, still love Dan Campbell, whether it's Jared Goff, I still think Jared Goff can take this team to the Super Bowl. Being critical of players on the team does not mean that we're negative on the team. Okay. The other thing, I'm going to say this with all due respect, and I'm probably going to get more hate for saying this because, you know, people love to hate me. Oh, did I tell you? Buy the merch. Gatekeeping of Lions fandom is something that I have witnessed for a long, long time. And I'll say this as politely as possible. Just because you dress up, just because you dye your hair, just because you're the one that they might show on TV or you're the one that goes to the tailgate, you're not a gatekeeper and you have no right to call anybody a bandwagon fan. We're all here, the haters, the lovers, the part-timers, the mid-timers, the people that don't stand up when it's third down and the defense is on the field against Green Bay. My entire section almost. And then quite a few people over to the right of us. Y'all just sitting there. I'm not going to call you a bandwagon fan. Am I going to tell you to get the freak up out of your seat and make some noise when it's third and fourth down? I mean, that's kind of what we're supposed to do as fans at the game. But I'm not going to call you bandwagon. So please, if we could just get people, especially the Lions fans that do dress up and get represented by all of us, stop calling people bandwagon. Stop it. It's silly. It's silly, man. Being a fan of this team for even 30 seconds is painful for the most part. Stop. Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about Dan Campbell. And I love Dan Campbell. We'll start there. We need to help Dan Campbell. I think that Dan Campbell is an exceptional head coach. I think that Dan Campbell, like many others, needs help. He's struggling a little bit right now. Obviously, the offensive plays. Look at the first 15, the last couple of games. I think maybe we did well. No, Giants came out on top of us too. Offense got down right away. Maybe in Philly, did we score first? Anyway, look at the game's first 15 plays. The ones that we have scripted. We're horrible. We're horrible. How many 3-and-outs have we had during those first 15 plays? I'd go back and count them, but I'm trying to be positive here. I'm going to be positive. Dan Campbell cannot call the plays for this team. I would honestly right now rather go back to Johnny Morton and Dan just say, hey, John, you know what? These are some of the plays I think that you should run in these situations. Sweet. That would, Dan, you got way more problems on this team than the offense right now. The defense is not good. Your clock management is not good. Your offensive line, holy smokes, your offense in general, while played better in Green Bay, everybody needs help, Dan, and that's the head coach's job. And I think you need help with your clock management. Now, we saw how LaFleur masterfully played a timeout to his advantage. Thanks, Russ. Not going to talk about the refs today at all. Y'all can blame the refs all you want, and I get it. I understand it, but that's not what we do here. We have now timeout issues, game flow issues, throwing the flag issues. Like, Dan, if you don't have them, have somebody up in the stands or up in the box specifically there to help you with timeouts. Heck, dude, I'll do it for free. I'll do it for you. You tell me when you think we should call timeouts and give me some logical if-then scenario for when you want to call timeouts, and I will call timeouts. That would be amazing, right? Anybody can help out the team with timeouts. Also with the challenge flag. I know there's people up there, but like we didn't get that flag out fast enough, and it wouldn't have mattered for any of the plays, I think. But like, Dan, you got to focus right now. You have to focus right now on the culture and the mentality of this team. We're running in the right direction, obviously, over the past couple of years. And right now we're in trouble. Green Bay is the microcosm of the last, what I've seen, 5 weeks of the Lions. Can't remember. I'd have to go back and look at the actual games. Dan Campbell is not helping his team. Okay, we'll throw out Washington. That one didn't count. Dan Campbell is not helping his team, folks. The refusal to punt on 4th and 3 and pinning the Green Bay Packers back, that turned the game. We were making moves, put your defense in a better position. 2 plays later, after turnover on downs, Green Bay throws a bomb and scores. Now, you may be like, well, they just could have done that. They're driving us anyway. But the longer the field, the more likely it is for an error to happen or for your defense to stand up. That's just science. So maybe Dan also needs help with his 4th down calls, or maybe if Dan was hyper focused on the all of the game and not just the offense, Dan would make a better decision there. I truly think that our 4th down, we're 0-7 on 4th downs. Dan Campbell is trying to play the game like he's got a freaking great offensive line, and he doesn't. Hey, what's up, dog? How you doing? So what do we need to do? We need to get Dan Campbell some help, right? Because Dan Campbell is a degenerate gambler. So I know because I've been a degenerate gambler at least once in my life. And what happens, right, is you have these swings as a gambler. Oh, you're up and you're the greatest freaking blackjack player of all time. And the next week you're down. Well, we had a nice little up run with our 4th down plays when we had a great offensive line, when we had a pair of aces, right? When we had a pair of aces in our hand and the flop comes 4 aces. Or 2 aces. When we've got pocket aces like a great offensive line, that's what we want to do. But we don't have that offensive line. So instead, let's do this. Like Dan Campbell, you have to learn when to fold. You're a degenerate gambler, right? But sometimes you have pocket aces. And for those of you that play Texas Hold'em, that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes you have pocket aces. And the flop comes king, queen, jack of diamonds, and you don't have the ace of diamonds, you get the freak out. you fold. It's okay to fold pocket aces. It's okay to fold pocket aces. Maybe not on the flop, but it's okay to fold pocket aces or on the pre-flop, but on the flop. Oh, here we go. We got a first-time caller. Hold on, let's go. Hey, what's up, Jim?
Let's go.
Jim,
what you doing, streaming?
I'm doing a live stream right now of the Heart of a Lions Fan podcast. You can get your All Grit merchandise at bonfire.com/store/allgrit. Don't quit. Help Daddy pay for those season tickets.
Long-time listener, first-time caller, Jim Sissing here.
What's up, Jim?
Just want to get your take on the division and where you think the Lions will fall this year.
Oh, man, that's tough. It's really tough. There's no chance we win the division. Actually, Jim, at the end of the episode, I'm going to go ahead and break down like playoff chances, which will actually help. We'll be talking about the division there as part of that. But really, if coming off the cuff right now, I think that we have no chance to win the division, and we need the Bears to beat up on the Pack to have a chance at getting in the wild card, right? So we also need to beat Dallas. I know there's lots of Dallas fans out there.
Those Dallas fans, they travel too. They're probably going to take over Ford Field on Thursday night, which that scares me because The Lions fans don't know how to fan. So, it will probably be like a home atmosphere for those Cowboys.
Hey, so I already riffed on that idea a little bit about fans not standing up at for third and fourth down and making noise. But you said you went to a Kansas City game and they were freaking off the chain the entire game. Didn't sit the whole game. 8,000 people standing the entire time.
Yeah, my son, who was 10 at the time, did not like it because it was too rowdy and too loud.
Yeah.
When Detroit had the ball, and he wasn't used to that. Where Ford Field, it gets loud. At times when they tell you to get loud, but people don't know how to get loud on their own.
Well, and then they immediately be quiet after once third down is over and we stop them. They immediately get quiet. I'm like, no, you need to be quiet. You need to be loud the whole time. They're trying to communicate. You need to be loud, man. Anyway,
be loud.
I have one other question for you.
Yeah.
You lived in Dallas for a while, and I'm assuming you listened to Dallas sports media. You followed the Cowboys. You probably knew some Cowboy fans, correct?
Yeah, 100%.
Did they call people bandwagon fans when the Cowboys did good that one year?
No. We accept everyone.
Is that how Dallas goes?
Yeah, we accept that. The more fans we have, the better. Why are we going to hate on someone that wants to root for our team?
Oh, let's go. What if somebody was being critical of the team on the Facebook? Would you call them, and for good reason? Would you call them a bandwagon fan at that point? Oh, yeah, okay. No. All right, just wondering.
Yeah, bandwagon's not part of our vocabulary down south.
I like that.
That's just people up north that want to find a reason to hate on others and try and pick fights.
Hey,
the more the merrier.
You sound like people in Philly. I've never been to Philly. I've never been to Philadelphia. I was just making fun of the Philadelphia Eagles, but we probably shouldn't make fun of them because they're down too. Poor Eagles. Not.
Yeah, they might beat you up too.
Yeah.
So you don't want to make fun of them. They're tough.
I was not anticipating a call today. This is awesome, Jim. I appreciate the call.
Hey, no problem, man. Hey, I'll hang up and listen, but you have a great day there, Michael B.
All right.
Heart of a Lion, baby.
Heart of Lions. Peace, Jim.
All
great. Don't quit. So let's recap, right? Jared Goff missed some plays. Wish we had some playback. He'd tell you that. Offensive line is not good. Frank Ragnow coming back. Let's talk about that real quick. Geez. Oh, no, let's finish the recap. And then we talked about bandwagon fans, just what you heard in the phone call. We also talked about a little bit about Dan Campbell and Dan Campbell needing help. So help coming in the guys or the jersey of Frank Ragnow. Does that change anything for us? I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to check it out. It's hard to say what condition Frank will be in. It's also hard to say what condition the team will actually be in when it comes to record. If he doesn't play against Dallas and we lose against Dallas, we're in trouble. Huge trouble. I don't even want Frank back at that point. But one of the things that's striking me about this Frank Ragnow conversation, and folks saying Happy Franksgiving, Matt Derry was the first one that I saw. There's been some other people that picked it up from that. Is there was a conversation or an interview with Taylor Decker, who said that he'd been talking to Frank about this about 4 weeks ago. And like some people have mentioned, it would be really nice if we would have had Ragnow back for maybe the last two games. Right? Think about that. Could have come back for the Giants game. If he only needs 2 weeks to prepare, come back for the Giants game, get right a little bit there, get your wheels under you, and then be ready for the Green Bay game. I mean, that would have been Frank's giving her. But anyway, glad to have you back, Frank. I hope you're here for this year and next year because next year's our year. This year might still be our year. So let's do our 5-point play. Well, we're going to look at the stats. We'll do the 5-point play, and then we're going to go ahead and look at the playoffs here real fast. So let me share my screen. Let's look at the stats here. So I don't care about what the Packers stats were. Jordan Love, great game, blah, blah, blah. Micah Parsons, great game. Y'all saw it. If we look at Goff here, Goff with a 132 rating, 20 for 26, 256 yards, 76% completion percentage, 2 touchdowns, sacked 3 times. Okay, but that's a good line from Goff. We would take that every single time. That's a great line from Goff. Now, I wish he would have had one more attempt because this pass by David Montgomery in the game was silly. another Dan Campbell desperation call. I mean, if David Montgomery is going to throw the ball, you have him throw it to somebody other than the dude whose name I can't remember. And obviously not Tesla, not JMO, not Gibbs. Like, what do you do? Or even Tom Kennedy. There's 4 or 5 before that freaking guy gets thrown the ball. Anyway, so Goff, really good game. Maybe would have liked to see him have an interception there for actually trying to throw a long ball once. And then when we look at the runs, we actually had a really good distribution here, right? 27 passes, 30 runs. We ran more than we passed. A beautiful thing. The problem here, we should have fed David Montgomery more. If you go back and watch the game like I did this morning, those drives where Monty was on the field and we rolled a little bit of play action, we scored. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Why didn't we get more of that, right? Dan Campbell, way too predictable with everything. I love Jahmyr Gibbs. Love Jahmyr Gibbs. You knew that they're going to try to stop Jahmyr Gibbs. Just throw a wrinkle and put freaking David Montgomery in to start the game. I don't care who starts. I just care who scores. David Montgomery, this was David Montgomery's game, right? 4-yard average, 14 yards long. You needed to drive the middle of the pile. He's going to do that more than Jahmyr Gibbs is going to. So some play calling issues as well with personnel on the field. Running Gibbs up the middle makes 0 sense. 0 sense. You got to go not outside against the Packers, but you got to make a hole and make something happen there. So the distribution here was nice. JMO really the problem here with JMO is -5 yards on that reverse or end around or whatever it was. Dan Campbell always does this. Somebody makes a big play and they go right back to them. JMO, I think, just had a big gainer before this, and now you're going to make him run even farther to let him catch his breath. I know they're professional athletes, blah, 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 but it's consistent. Somebody has a big run or a big play, they almost always get the ball one more time. Jahmyr Gibbs will run for 50 freaking yards, and we're going to give the ball right back to him. And I get feel and everything else, but to me, it's or dude takes a hit in some situations like that, and you're just like, Dan, what are you doing, man? Hey, thank you out there. What's up, Vaughn? How's it going? Welcome in, Vaughn. I am just ranting about the Lions. Looking at the stats here, about to give my 5-point play, my 5 points, 5 reasons we lost. They'll be attributed to people because that's how we do things around here. But overall, the offense, I think, did well enough to win. The offense scored, 24 points? Whatever it was, 24 points. 24 points was definitely enough to win. Let's look at receivers did fine. Let's look at the defense, right? So we had a forced fumble. If we'd have got that, that would have been huge. No interceptions. I mean, how are you going to intercept the ball if you can't cover the team that you're playing against? Brian Branch, decent game. I think he had a great PFF score. The problem was the first touchdown, I believe he just gave up on the ball. He was looking at the ref. The ball's in the air. I think Branch sees it, stops running, looks at the ref. That was absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. Anzalone had a pedestrian game. Jack Campbell kind of had a pedestrian game. Amik Robertson, 3 passes defended, but everybody, DJ Reed got burned. All those out patterns, all those passes to the sidelines, we got smoked on. We got absolutely smoked on those. Absolutely smoked on those. And where was it, Lee McNeil? Where was Hutchinson? Where's any of our defensive line? Dude, this is a straight up mess here, folks. This is a straight up mess. Jake Bates would like to see you kick another field goal. And then Jack Fox, I would like to see him maybe punt one more time as well. So, all right. All Grit, Don't Quit merchandise here at thebonfire.com/store/all grit. You can get that. I can actually throw that in the YouTube chat, right? So let's go ahead and 5-point play. 5-point play for the reason that we lost. Dan Campbell gets 1 point. The punt, or the lack of a punt, the lack of a field goal, left points. The offense, while it performed well, there were definitely some questionable things going on within that offense. Dan Campbell also said that they didn't want to get into a hurry up at the end of the game. They actually ran it at the end of the half and were pretty successful with it. Didn't want it at the end of the game because didn't want to score too quickly and give them the ball back. I'm like, dude, you can. That's the silliest thing ever. You want more time to score because you can take your time to score, right? You can take your time to score. You're taking your time there, letting the clock run and snapping the ball at 1 on the play clock and taking the time there. You could have done the exact same thing and taken it at the end. Dan Campbell gets one. Dan Campbell's actually going to get another one too. What I give him this one for? There's so much. We're going to give Dan Campbell at least one. One for the offense, and then maybe one for the special teams or lack of use of special teams. Dan Campbell deserves 2 points in this loss, and I think he would take 2 points in this loss. Man, do I give one to Brian Branch? Like Brian Branch, that play where he stopped and kind of gave up on the ball, that really freaking clobbered us, man. That really got us out of the gate in trouble. Now, we came back, got close, everything else like that. Brian Branch, I think, redeemed himself. He was the highest rated PFF. There we go. Battery's plugged in. Highest PFF rated. So we can't give it to Brian Branch. I think we got to give it to Hutch. Hutch, you got to make a play, bro. Hutch is gassed. Hutch is tired. I get it. But Hutch, you got to make a play. You got to make a play for us, Hutch. Anzalone, you got to make a play for us, Anzalone. I think you were one of the lower-rated PFF players, right? So Dan Campbell's going to get 2. I can't give one to Goff with that stat line. Hutch, Anzalone, and it's got to be somebody else on the defense, right? I'm going to give it to Kelvin Shepard. Kelvin Shepard, that's your defense. That's your defense, Shep. And nobody did well, right? DJ Reed couldn't cover somebody going to the sideline. Terrion had some nice plays. Defense did a good job to start, in all honesty. Giving them that short field to work with is not a good idea. I've already talked about that. So that's the 5-point play. 2 for Dan Campbell, 1 for Shep. Coaching matters. And then 1 for Anzalone and 1 for Hutch, because they just got to make something happen. All right, so now it is the playoff picture, folks. And holy smokes, folks. So 7 playoff spots available. Rams, Bears. Bears are 9-3, and we're, 7-5. It has to be a 2-loss swing in there. Bears lose 2 against Green Bay. See, but then that Green Bay is better than us right now, right? Where's Green Bay at 8-3, and we're at 8-4? Is that what we are? No, we're 7-5. We're 7-5. So some stuff has to happen for us to freaking enter the playoffs or to win the division. A lot of stuff has to happen for us to win the division. I mean, Von, what would you give our chance of winning the division? I mean, it's 20%, 10%. I'm sure there's percents out there. There's things like that. I saw something on the way in. I don't know if it was true or not. And then 7-5 right now with us in the hunt. Cowboys beat us. If the Cowboys beat us, we're definitely in trouble. We should be able to stay ahead of the Panthers, but I don't know. And obviously this is in the hunt. We got to get in. 8-4. We're not as good as the 49ers record-wise, obviously. Packers, we have to root for – this is the issue, right? We have to root for the Packers to beat the Bears in order for us to win the division. We have to root for the Bears to beat the Packers if we want to make the playoffs ahead of the Packers. Oh, my goodness. So the playoff picture is still pretty muddy. We just have to win. That's it. I'm not going to think too far ahead because right now we just have to win against Dallas. That's it. Win against Dallas on Thursday. Same game plan we had or similar game plan, right? If we play the same game, I can't say that. We have the potential. It's right there. Goff had a good game. Gibbs, Monty both had good games. You just fed the wrong person. Your first 15 plays are complete butt, and your play calling is bad, Dan. Might take one of the points away from Anzalone and give it over to back to Dan. Nah, I can't do that. Dan gets 2 points. All right, so we did our 5-point play. We laid 5 points of blame for the loss. Dan Campbell got 2. Shep got 1. Hutch got 1. Anzalone got 1. We looked at the playoff picture here, folks. It's we can still make it, so we just have to win. We also talked about the people who are calling people bandwagon fans. Just stop it. We stop it. But please, fans that show up at the game on 3rd and 4th down when our defense is on the field, you got to get up and make some noise. Dan makes better calls, and we had St. Brown. We could have won against the Packers. Yeah, 1,000%. I don't even think we needed St. Brown. Truth be told, St. Brown would have been nice, but I think Dan does better play calling. We're good, right? Offense played well enough to win. continuously chasing. Our offense stayed in the game. Defense, right? What's going on? What's up with the defense? Is Shepard going to try anything new? Anything at all? Other than putting it McNeil at tackle or end? Appreciate you folks on Facebook. This is over on my YouTube channel for Heart of a Lions Fan. I got that going on. I also have the but all grit merch, other merch like this, cool stuff that I've designed. You can go check out. It is in the link right there, bonfire.com/store/allgrit. Me, Mike Vanderpool, hardcore Lions fan. I don't dress up. I don't paint my hair. I don't do any of that stuff, but I love my team. I'm a little bit insane, but you know what? I got the heart of a Lions fan, and I know you do too. Be good to each other. Peace, peace.